The party in Immortal Realm was held. Everyone was having fun when suddenly the place of worship of the gods was attacked. At that time, Shen discovered fireballs rushing to destroy that place. The place where the fireballs attacked was the place where the dead gods were worshipped, the only place that still retained some nostalgia for Xingzi's friends. Shen thought of Xingzi, the loneliness that Xingzi had to go through. She wanted to keep some nostalgia of those friends for Xingzi. That's why Shen risked his life against the fireballs. When Xingzi heard the news and came, Shen no longer had the strength to resist. A hand supported Shen and the wound on her cheek was also covered by that person's cool hand. Shen spirit was so exhausted that he could no longer see clearly. But Xingzi's eyes told Shen that he was angry. Shen, don't you want to live anymore? You can't die. Shen replied tiredly. It's a bit tiring. Because of that room, you forced yourself into this situation. Xingzi seemed to be trying hard to suppress his emotions. How stupid are you? Shen was so tired that his eyes were about to close, but he still struggled to answer. I can't let you. Not even a little bit of memory left. Xingzi's fingers trembled slightly, seemingly tormented for a long time. One hand wrapped around Shen shoulder and the other pressed her nape firmly into his arms. He couldn't control himself anymore. Xingzi's fingers gently stroked Shenli's hair. His lips were next to Shenli's ear. Are you really helping me control? At this time, the immortal emperor hurriedly brought his guards. Except for the room that Shenli risked his life to protect, the other places were all burned to ashes. Immortal Xingzi was holding the king lord in front of the ruins. His back was turned to everyone. No one could see the expression on his face. After a few days of recuperation, Shen gradually recovered. She received bad news from the spirit realm. The letter was sent by spirit realm 5 days ago. The capital of the spirit realm was also attacked by the North Sea clan. The spirit emperor fell into a coma. More than a dozen generals of the spirit realm died. The spirit realm rioted. The situation is critical. Shen received the bad news and was both worried and angry. This was news from 5 days ago, but Immortal did business so irresponsibly that it wasn't until now that Shen heard about it, meaning that in the past 5 days, Spirit Realm has been in a very bad situation. Shen immediately returned to the Spirit Realm. The Spirit Emperor was seriously injured. She was hit by a strange poison, so she fell into a coma for several days and did not wake up. A cure has not yet been found. Shen returned with medicine from the Immortal Realm, and the Spirit Emperor's health changed for the better. Spirit Realm is much worse than Shen imagined. When she returned, the Spirit Emperor's dozen generals had not been buried for 5 days. The reason is because, according to the regulations of the Spirit Realm military, after a battle, all soldiers must be buried before the general can be buried. Several days have passed and Spirit Realm still has not been able to bury all the soldiers who died in battle. The number is so large that it is terrifying. Shen flew straight to the military camp outside the city. She wanted to find out what was wrong with Spirit Realm. The Spirit Realm army under Shen was not useless. Why were they beaten so badly? Even more surprised when Shen heard that the enemy had about 200 people. According to some people who returned alive, Shen learned that they were like puppet Zixia, who had injured Tham Lai in the human realm. If that's the case, it's no wonder. Just one Zixia puppet can seriously injure Shen 200 puppets like Zixia can completely trample the spirit realm. Even more painful was Shen discovery that Fang had also died in battle. When Shen arrived at the place where the generals' bodies were located, there is a row of coffins and dozens of bodies here. Shen of the people lying here can all read their names, but now some people no longer recognize their faces. Some people's bodies are incomplete. Shen stopped in front of a coffin. In this coffin, there was only a sword and a piece of destroyed armor. The blood stains on it made people terrified. Who is this? Shen asked softly. It's General Fang. The general behind him replied. On the battlefield, he risked his life and beheaded 3 enemies. In the end, he was surrounded by several enemies and was eaten. Shen shook her head. Without his body, I won't believe it. The surrounding generals bowed their heads without speaking. The atmosphere was silent for a long time. A hoarse voice rang out. I saw with my own eyes. I saw with my own eyes General Fang being eaten by them. Shen held on to the coffin, looking at the broken sword and shattered armor inside. A feeling of helplessness held her back. making it impossible for her to move. I also saw it with my own eyes. Someone else also added that the more witnesses there were, the more Shen Li couldn't help but believe the truth that Mo Fang had died tragically. Her 5 fingers clutched the edge of the coffin tightly, the tips of her fingers turning white with force. The thick wooden coffin cracked with a sound, leaving fingerprints.